Welcome to the Worst of the Riot Extra podcast. I am Hudson, Isaiah joining me. And in today's podcast we're talking about our 3 keys to a healthy life. Because we've talked recently on the show about how each of us, we've been trying to lose weight. We've been, there's diets we stay on. And people say, how do you guys do it? It's so difficult for so many people to stay on a diet, to live a healthy lifestyle. Isaiah, you hit the gym all the time. How do you do it? What are your guys' keys to a healthy life? And so today, we're ready to share them with you.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
Do I think that I am the standard for health and lifestyle choices? No.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to think that I do know some things about living a healthy lifestyle.
Well, here's what I was thinking. I was thinking neither of us go to the doctor. So
True.
That's not a key to a healthy life. But why would you go to but that's proof that we live a healthy life, because if you're unhealthy, you're going to the doctor. You got to go to the doctor or you die. So we must be healthy because we never have to go to the doctor.
That's true. I haven't been to the doctor in a long time.
Yeah.
This is the best way to completely invalidate us giving health tips to people. I haven't been to the doctor in I don't know how long, but I will tell you some things you need to know about living a healthy life.
I think that's just the proof is in the pudding. That just shows that we must be healthy, or else we'd be at the doctor constantly saying, hey, doc, I got this ailment. And he'd be like, you are so unhealthy, he or she. So I think this is just proof. That is proof, with us not going to the doctor, proof that we're healthy. So let me start with my first health tip, and I've said this before. Astute listeners, dedicated listeners should know that one of my top keys to a healthy, happy life, fresh air. I don't think you have to work out necessarily. I don't think you have to you have to have a gym regimen. You have a fitness routine, but I think getting fresh air, getting outdoors, getting some sunshine, getting off of the couch, even if it's just walking around, even if it's just, sitting outside. I think that benefits you. And I make a point just about every day I get fresh air, and every weekend it's a point of, you're not going to find a weekend unless it's freezing cold that I'm not spending some time outside. Fresh air, my key number 1 to a healthy life.
I like that one. I have one to bounce off of that I came up with very similarly. Not exactly the fresh air as in like nature, being outside, but mine is make it a habit or a plan to go out and about. And the reason I say this is similarly so, I think being cooped up in your house can be one of the most detrimental things to your health. I'm not saying that I don't like to lay at home, watch Netflix, have quiet nights in, but I do think there needs to be a balance where you do make it a point to have a night out with your friends or your wife or your family, because I think that translates to so many other healthy things in your life. The first one, because I had a couple of these little points that I almost listed by themselves. One of them was going to be hygiene, right?
Yeah.
That I was going to say, you need to have good hygiene, but that just feeds into the planning to go out and about. Because if you're going out and about, if you're making plans with people, more than likely when you see them, you want to be presentable.
Yeah.
And so you're going to want to make sure that you are brushing your teeth and putting on deodorant and smelling good and doing those things, or even working out can be a part of that too. You want to make sure that your appearance is up. If you feel as if you don't have any of that to care about because you're always hanging out inside, not doing anything on the weekends, not seeing anyone, then you don't have to worry about your hygiene as much. But if you're constantly seeing people, making plans with people, then you're going to say, you know what? I wouldn't mind it if I maybe lost a pound or 2. I wouldn't mind it if my breath smelled a little bit better, because if I'm going to be seeing people and they're going to see me, I want to have a good image in that way. It also helps with friendships as well, which I think are very important. Almost listed this by itself. But a lot of people, as they get older, are more likely to say, I'm going to stay home and save money. And they start to not prioritize their friends as much.
And then all of a sudden,
you have no friends.
Yeah.
It's just you and your wife. And so I think planning to make it a point to go out, do fun things, involve your friends. It does not have to be every Saturday or every Friday, but you need to do it a couple times every month, maybe once a month, twice a month, whatever works for you. Because if you're not doing that, then your friendships start to go to the wayside.
Mhm.
Do you have to look presentable on the weekends? Things like that can just start to fade away out of the routine.
That is true. You say a no enough times as you grow up, you'll find
it comes
this. You
easy.
say no enough times to hanging out with people, eventually they stop asking you. It's not that they don't want to hang out with you, but they've heard no enough times that you're like, what's the point of even asking this guy? And so you got to say yes every so often, get out there, or else, a lot of your friendships can quickly dry up. And then we know this too. I've experienced this, that the less you see people, the weirder it feels to actually talk to them, even though they might be a really good person to talk to. And maybe well, I don't want to go do that thing with them. I don't really feel like it this weekend. But then not only do you not have them to hang out with, you don't have that extra person to talk to. So that's you got to say yes every once in a while. Here's my key number 2 to a healthy life is occasional controlled indulgence. You gotta indulge. People, this is one of the things people that we're good at, I think, sticking on a diet. We're pretty disciplined when it comes to that. But the reason is because you cannot, at least for me, you cannot set a diet that's going to be withholding yourself from stuff and maintain that long term. You've got to allow yourself to have, you have to set a reasonable amount of little dalliances you can have with fun food and with fun things because you can't be all about business all the time. You drive yourself crazy doing that. And soon enough, if you then once you do go off and have a little snack that's fun, all of a sudden, then it's just an avalanche. It's just snowballs. But if you just make a plan to have, once in a while I'll eat out. Once in a while I'll have the special food. Once in a while I'll go a day without working out. Whatever it is, you gotta let yourself have those wins every once in a while. Occasional controlled indulgence.
I love that one.
Yeah.
That's a big one for me too. And you have to kind of plan it out.
Yeah.
And it can be anything. Like for me, right now I'm on like a real strict diet, especially Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But every night I have some dinner that's like ground turkey and it stinks and it doesn't even taste
Bland.
good. But I have to eat it because I'm trying to be healthy. But after I finish my ground turkey, I always make some, and these are still a healthy food, but it's my special food every day, which is these air fried potatoes I make. That I slice up, I put a little Pam on it, 0 calories, little seasoning. It's nice and light, but it feels like such a good snack. It's like what I have to look forward to. So as long as I can get through the ground turkey or the grilled chicken breast that I'm eating, then I get to my 3 little mini potatoes, and that's my special thing for the day.
You always feel like you have to have, I think this is important for us, you always have to have something to look forward to, whether it's your vacation, whether it's your cheat day, your meal out. You've got to put these little wins. You've got to schedule some wins in your life to make the day, to make the losses or the disciplined areas of your life to make them worthwhile.
I like that one. My next
Occasional
one.
controlled indulgence. That's what I call it.
I'm going with goals. You got to have goals. And one thing that people do is they say, like, I have goals, but you've never really, written them down. You've never, said them aloud. Like, everybody has goals in their mind of, in your career. You have a goal of one day, hopefully you're the CEO or hopefully you're the manager or whatever your goal is for your career. But until you really set out your goals, especially we did the whole New Year's resolution things and wrapping back to those, but setting out your goals for the year and the next couple months of things you really want to accomplish. I'm a big goal setter, so I think that's super important. And I think if you really lay out the goals that you want to have, whether it's in finance or it's in work or it's in your family, then that can make so many other things better for you. Like if you're really focused on, okay, I want to wake up early and one of my goals is going to the gym and then getting a really good day of working after that, then more than likely you're going to start getting more sleep because there's no way you're going to accomplish that goal of waking up early and getting to the gym or being more productive during the day if you're not getting enough sleep. And then you can kind of lay out the same thing with your finances. Your finances, if you lay out the goals that you have for finance, more than likely you're going to start saving money or making more money. And so I think if you lay out your goals, it can benefit you in so many other ways. But you kind of have to do it. You have to write them down.
Yeah.
You have to sit down and really make it a point to actually make goals. Because I know that if I asked anyone, they would say, of course I have goals. Like I have things I want to accomplish in my life. But until you kind of like figure out the pathway of getting there, then you're kind of wandering in the direction of your goals rather than like attacking your goals.
Right.
And that's what makes it change.
I don't know, this might not be a key for everybody, but when you're talking about goals, a key for me, and I think about this particularly when it comes to dieting, set your goals maybe a little more ambitious than you actually think you can reach. Because then, even if you don't reach your goals, yet again, you've still got to win. For me, my goal weight last year, I didn't quite get to my actual goal weight when I was losing weight, but I got pretty close. And so it still felt like a win. I was way down from where I was before. And this year, same thing. My weight is probably a little lower than is actually possibly realistic, at least in the time frame. But if I get close to it, if I get anywhere close, that's going to feel like a win. If you set a goal for savings and your goal is this high and you don't get all the way to that goal before you need to dip into the savings, it's still going to feel like a win because you're going to have all those savings. Where if you never actually set a number, then like, what is your target? Then how do you know when you've completed it?
Yeah, you got to set the targets and usually a time frame too.
Right.
I want to save this much money by this month, or I want to lose this much weight by this month. Because if you don't have that end date on it too, then it feels like, oh, well, next month's going to be the month where I really start saving money.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I say I want to save this much money by July, then if I get to March and I'm like, dang, I'm pretty far away from that, then April, May, and June, I'm going to be kicking butt.
Yeah.
But if you never make that end date, then it's like, oh, I had a bad month. Maybe this month will be a little better. You don't put that actual, yet again, attacking the goal. You don't attack your finances because you have no end date.
Well, you think about this too. I think about it like when it comes to bills. If you have a bill that's coming up and you've got a deadline on the bill, and your electric gets cut off if you don't pay by the deadline, you're going to make sure you pay that. But if every month it was like, well, you've got 3 bills and this one still keeps going, even if you don't pay it, you're going to keep not paying that one if it's close. So you got to have the deadlines. You got to have, some specifics in mind, or else it's really easy to just be like, not today, not this one now. And then all of a sudden you never do anything towards it at all, anything of meaning. Okay, I've got my final key to a healthy life.
Okay.
Moments of solitude.
Oh, my girlfriend would love this one.
Yeah, you need alone time. It's important, even if you're an extrovert, a go-getter that's always out and about, and it's important to be around friends, and that's an important goal too. But this moments of solitude, it's even if you do consider yourself a loner, think about when you actually get moments of solitude, time where you turn your phone off, or you just take some moments to think, to have some time with your thoughts, to pray, to meditate. Isaiah knows this. Sometimes I'm meditating right across from you.
Mid-show.
You can have moments of solitude even with people all around. You just gotta find some peace. You gotta be with your thoughts and not be with some kind of something that's just blasted. That's just telling you what to think. That's telling you that's occupying your mind. Sometimes you need to let your mind wander too. So I think moments of solitude. I make a point. I really do this every single week. I need my alone time. And it's usually weekend mornings before my wife wakes up. That's my time to just be alone.
I love
sometimes
a good
in the
morning.
shower too. Shower's a good time.
Shower's an amazing place to really just lay there, sit there, and really think about your thoughts. Get yourself in line for the day. Start up your day. Usually my shower in the morning is like I'm trying to just wake up. Yeah. Where it'd be so nice if I could just sit in there and really have a nice deep thought.
Well, you've got the perfect place for moments of solitude. You got a hot tub.
That's true.
How's the hot tub doing?
Hot tub's doing grand.
Yeah.
Still cooking.
This is a good time for the hot tub. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. My final one, and this is a real important one for me. I think always prioritizing and never really wandering on your morals. I think, and I've thought of this for a long time, your moral compass is like one of the most important things, because not only does that show other people around you kind of like what you're about. When I'm talking about morals, I'm talking about like respect and honesty and trustworthiness. And those are things that like obviously the people around you, it affects them because that's their view of you. If they know, oh, I know that I can trust Isaiah, or I know Isaiah will always be honest with me, or I know Isaiah will always respect me or anyone that I introduce him to. It feels really good to know the people around you think highly of you, but also that way that you can have that self-reflection of thinking highly of yourself. That's one of the most important things I think people don't think about is how do you think about yourself when you reflect on who you think you are as a person? Only you know your moral compass. And if you feel as if, and sometimes it's not going to be perfect all the time. You're not going to tell the truth every single day. There's always been a time where you're like, I lied there and I probably shouldn't have, but that's just kind of how it goes. But if you just try to stay as close as you can to your moral compass, that gives yourself, like you can have gratitude for yourself. And the more that you appreciate yourself, the more you can appreciate others. And so when you think about kind of where you stand with yourself as a person, that can reflect on how people look at you. How does Hudson, what kind of person does he think I am? Does he think that I'm a good person? And I think that that knowing that you're a good person or knowing that you're trying to be a good person is one of the more important things if you want to live a healthy lifestyle, is having that healthiness with yourself, having a good reflection of yourself.
What you're saying, I've never thought about this before, but I think it is such a key to maintaining your self-esteem.
Yep, it is.
Because for me, there's plenty of times, especially being in media, and it's like we get a lot of haters, but we get negative comments and stuff. People sometimes, and anybody can face that. And I think one of the top things for me that has helped me not, take any criticism too much to heart is because I have principles, I have morals, and I know that I know when I'm sticking to them. And I think I'm pretty good at admitting to myself when you fall short of your own principles or morals. And so if other people want to criticize, that's one thing. But if you don't have clearly defined what your principles and morals in life are, then it's easy to let everybody else tell you you're not doing good enough at it because they will. People love to do that. But if you know, then and you can be honest with yourself, this is where I've this is where I haven't held up my end of the bargain, haven't stayed true to what I actually believe I should be doing, then that's some self-reflection you can have. But it prevents everybody else from controlling what you actually, your journey in life.
Yeah, and I think about too, like what you were talking about when you say, like, obviously people, especially with us, have disagreed with things we've said or disagreed with how we've done the ride or whatever it is. And I always think about too, like in your day-to-day life, everybody has people that hate on them, even from if it's up close or from afar. And that's why I think too, for younger people, when I think about some of the hate that like you get in middle school and that you get in high school or elementary school, why that can be so tough sometimes is because their self-esteem hasn't been developed yet.
Yeah.
To where the point where like I'm a 25-year-old man, I know that at this point in my life, I'm trying. I might not be the perfect person, but I'm trying to be the best person that I can be. So if you say things to me that question my values, I am strong in my core values to say, no, I think I do make a lot of good decisions.
Yeah.
And I do have a lot of times like the best in my heart to try to make the right things happen. But when you're younger, sometimes you don't even know who you are yet. You don't have to build up that self-esteem. So those attacks on your personality or the choices you make can really hurt a lot more the younger that you are. But like my dad at this point in his life, there's no insult I could say to my dad that could hurt him because he knows who he is. He knows that he has a family that loves him. He knows that he has friends that love him and who he is. And in his life, he's made good decisions. He's made bad ones, but he's trying to be a good person. And so it definitely goes a long way with when you do go through adversity and you do have people that disagree with your choices. If you know that like you did have the best intention at heart, or you know that you're trying to make the right decisions, that can help you a long way in living a healthy lifestyle and just being able to live every day in your body. Like some people have trouble just waking up and just being themselves, which stinks. And they shouldn't have to do that, but some people do. And so being able to try to stand by your moral compass, make the right choices, and know that you're living a strong, healthy life, that you're trying to be respectful of others and have good moral values, that can help you wake up every single day and be stepping in the right shoes.
Well, you think too, that's one of the only things you have control of in life. It's hard. It's always hard, especially growing up, to remember that or to learn that there's so many things out of your control, even more so than you think. Stuff is just out of your control. But one of the things you can control is what you believe, and then in most cases, how those beliefs influence the rest of your life. And so that is, you got to just control what you can control. Don't try to control too much what you can't control. And your own beliefs and values are what are the one thing you can control. That's one thing I believe. It is the riot.